Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the All Guns, No Glory podcast. There's no lore when there's been battle. Just enjoy the opening music, and we're going to jump right back into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Guys, you have been infiltrating a warehouse of someone that you know has supposedly, unless he's hiding under the sheets or something, supposedly have fled the city on a giant clockwork flying cat, reports, allegedly. And now you guys are surrounding, I'm looking at the map where a warehouse that is 10, 20, 30, 40 to a stairwell, 50, 60, 70, 80 feet tall, and about 50, 60 wide, and a good third, if not half of that, is a raised platform for a loading dock with dock doors on the west side. And you guys are crowding around sort of these dock, like water dock, like 5 foot wide, 15 foot long, out into the main prep area, 1, 2, 3. And in between these two fingers that are facing east are all these tables, and you guys found this clockwork device that suddenly sprang to life, grew 10-foot arms, beating on you guys, and seems somewhat resistant to damage. And now it's my turn, or should I say, its turn. And I am more than happy to switch to battle mode once more. And, stick it to you. What would be a nice way to say the DM's trying to kill you, don't take it personally? No one.
It's a tricky one.
Just
Further ado.
Suicide booth over here. I hope nobody uses it.
What was that from? I remember those. That was from a sci-fi. Was that
Futurama had the suicide.
Futurama. Oh, right. This, yeah.
And now Sweden or Switzerland really does, I think, too. Like, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, assuming our mic checks are done, assuming everyone has the proper background for our video element, and assuming you guys are ready to take some hits, engaging this at point blank range, we have our dwarf standing his ground. And I am going to honor this bravery by reaching out and giving our dwarf a smack as best I can. Speaking of Futurama, you know the arms that Bender has that are like these sectional tubes that turn like tentacles with like clamps or something on it? Like all their robots have these extendo, right? That's exactly what this thing has in its artwork. It literally has those, multi-sectional tentacle metal arms so they can bend, and it's smacking you guys around. And unfortunately, our brave dwarf takes a hit, does 14 points of damage as it penetrates Andreas Stoupard's shields, and he becomes heavily wounded. And then, with a penalty of -5 and smacking him again, there is a miss. And then this thing takes a 5-foot sort of adjustment, step as you were, back, and tries to keep the dwarf at range as its last action. As I leave, this humanoid creature has persistent physical bleed damage of 4 because of a spell, and resists it because for some reason oil should be spurting out of this thing, but it just isn't from the last effects that caused said damage. Although I will say that it fails its flat check to keep that damage from coming, which brings us to Blaster Valentine at the end of this combat round.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Look at me flailing around, taking out your friends. How was your day, fellow compatriot robot? We just assume all robots know each other, just like a Futurama. I'm going to stab him. Stab. It's my favorite robot. Is the red one with the great big googly eyes. It's completely paranoid and goes on about shanking everybody. The little gangster one, the clamps. Give him the clamps. Anyway, what do you want to do there, Valentine?
I am going to shoot at this fellow automaton.
Nothing personal, right?
I'm a cold-blooded machine. Target acquired.
Okay, man.
Oh, I don't have my action bar. There we go.
You have your what now?
Is he targeted? Yeah. I hit with a 25.
Yes, sir.
Wish that dice was higher. I wish that was a nice 20, you know?
Well, unfortunately, I don't roll physical dice, though occasionally I do. And you don't either. Though I'll tell you, if you get a second camera and shoot little like a dice tray, I will totally take real dice rolls. As long as you bring them into work and prove they're not loaded.
1 point of damage.
6 points, a dead shot ringer for the pistol. Ping, but the plating, the undulating flaps, this squids are just squishy. Something about this thing. Ooh, you know what? I can't tell you what it is without skill rolls from you, but you, as a fellow automaton who has a, metal, wood, steam body, can see that this thing has the latest and greatest, or at least not of walking antiquity like you. I'm assuming that since you've been walking around the city, you've been observing the difference in the mechanics, how you were such a solid build and some of these automatons look like crap and tin. And yet you come across this one, it's like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. This is something, worthy of your attention. And unfortunately, might be about to kick your butt.
And I want to learn how to kill it.
Okay. What do you got here? 1 action to shoot. Had you reloaded last round? Is that what we were at? You do the automatic?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
have definitely been reloaded.
So, do you want to move and remove my cover bonus? Do you want to get up high? Do you want to recall some knowledge? Do you want to reload? What do you want to do? Do you want to spend your round actions deciding what to do, and I will spend them for you?
I'm gonna move and reload. So
Okay.
I'm gonna use my skill.
Okay. Can I have a basic athletics or an acrobatics for you to flip or just climb up? Low DC, but still, for whatever reason, if you blow it, you stay put. It cannot quite oomph up onto the ledge.
It's a 13.
13. You're fine. Do you want to go forward, diagonal, or to the left?
Diagonal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hop up on the corner. Parkour, right? They use the corner of the building.
My legs kind of walk up behind my back and then up onto the thing, and then my body comes up.
Flips over.
Yeah.
Show off.
with my and as I'm doing that, I'm reloading the gun and pointing it back at him.
Yeah, the big extending feet that come up one at a time, like it's by the old 60s horror sci-fis, right? Oh, that's funny. We just keep making age jokes about how old or possibly what era your character is from. 1 action left, sir. What do you got? Oh, you reloaded, right?
I reloaded.
That is 3, bringing us to Charwin.
No,
Charwin.
sorry. That's what I was saying. My skill makes it so I can reload while moving, and it costs 1 action.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
So
bad.
now I can take another shot.
Okay. Now, you wanted to know its weaknesses. Did you want to do recall knowledge or you want to keep shooting?
I'm going to shoot one more time, and then if it doesn't work this time, I'll try to recall next turn.
All right.
No.
And as a miss. As much as I'd like to give you for higher ground, half of me is butted up against the table, and I'll negate my cover bonuses, but I'm not going to give you bonuses just for being a little bit taller. Sorry. Which brings us to Charwin. Pilo, get ready. You're on deck. Charwin.
Oh, this has gone on too long.
Happy birthday, Charwin. I heard your birthday was last week. I'm going to give you a free hero point on the spot, as tradition on the Friday shows. I don't see why Charwin has to suffer. Because Drew got older. We're not allowed to say. He's not as old as Charwin, but still.
I just leveled up. This is how it works.
Oh.
Let's see. Things haven't been going so well with this guy. Let's try something new. Caustic Blast.
Ye old days.
Yeah. And so I can do it without hitting any of my buddies.
Oh, good to know.
Let's see. He has to make a reflex save.
Okay. Will that force it on him? I save 22 versus Charwin, half damage for me. You throw acid and he spins around. You hit him with it, but suddenly he kind of spins. You ever see like a lettuce spinner? It doesn't throw water, but it certainly takes it off the lettuce. Twist or whatever. Before the acid could adhere and do too much damage, I only take half of the damage. Anyway, sliming me for 3 points of damage and then doing the half spin, and he only takes 1 point. As again, my superior construction versus other robots seems to be on my side. Yes?
Let's do a knowledge recall check with my last action. Is that crafting?
Yeah, it would probably be. Or engineering. He doesn't appear to have any like religious markings where we could sneak religion and like, oh, this is how Bree makes up their bots, nothing I can do there. All right, in the tower. Oh, look at this. Charwin, would you like an offense or a defense or something specific?
Let's go defense.
He likes long walks on the beach and okay, fine.
Well, if I can hurt him emotionally, that works too.
Mental damage. It's a thing in this game. Sorry, defense?
Yeah, let's go defense.
Okay. So defensively, would you like to know resistances or weaknesses? It doesn't mean he has either. People are like, whatever his weaknesses doesn't mean he has them. I could just say none. Then you're ripping off. Or, something obvious like maybe he's resistant to something.
Let's go resistances. Maybe that'll help.
Okay.
Find a weakness.
He has a physical resistance of 5. As you, from your olden days and former profession, or somewhat side archetype, looking at so many schematics across your desk. Yeah, he's got an office, but he's not going to show you guys it. The way this thing moves reveals more about its construction than you anticipated in the first 5 rounds of battle. And it has a way of a lot of its plates and a lot of its movement and constant swaying is designed that any incoming attack gives it a damage resistance of 5 versus physical, which can cover a lot. It's like the old DR. And that's why 6 points from Mr. Gunn here only did 1, and that's why X amount of points from your acid is probably recalculated and such. Care to roll again for big money?
Out of
Your roll
actions.
wasn't bad, but not enough for me to tell you a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, you're out of actions.
Yeah, out of actions.
2 for the spell, 1 for the memory purge. Okay.
Yep.
Which brings us to Pilo. I got to note, Troy Phillips, as comic relief as he is a solid tactician as a caster. And he's playing a bard. I would almost fear him if he played something more powerful than his witch goblin or something like that in a future game. Best to keep him in his Canoman. What do you want to do there, Troy?
One question I had was last game, I remember, I did drop off the body of one of the smaller guys down right beside this guy. Did it blow up and do any damage to him, or does that happen yet? Do we know? Or do we...
It did blow up, and I believe the physical damage, like I recorded it and such, but it was, as a blast radius, again, he's pretty well protected. They don't go poof for very much, and a lot of it was like, minuscule.
Would you have told us anything there? Would you have kind of yelled out, hey, I think I got something, or would you have let us know?
Yeah, no, I would have quickly said he's resistant to physical damage, just real quick.
Oh man, resistant to physical damage. Okay, well, I'm gonna recall Novice and take a look at him and see if maybe there's anything he's kind of weak to. Knowing that I don't do a lot of physical damage.
Okay.
So I'll recall
Crafting, engineering.
Let me see what I can use as best here.
Would it be great if you could use your religious cult knowledge for like any situation? The cult of robots that I remember in '85. I don't know why.
Crafting or which? Crafting or
Crafting or engineering.
I don't even have engineering. No, I'll do crafting. Into the tower. I've got a -1 to crafting, so.
Oh, dude. Yeah, but when you roll that high, you actually know more than Charwin. I'm going to give you 2. He has Ocularum, weakness of 5, and he has electrical weakness of 5. Do you guys remember those beer spewing bots at the brewery? Seems to be a theme here where, except for, actually, I don't know, Troy, Speigler, do you have like weaknesses just because you're playing Construct? Does it say you have a weakness to electricity or anything?
No, I don't think so. I think I would remember.
So
that.
they'd level the playing field, but you probably also don't have something like physical resistance, right? So yeah. Okay. Yes. So a more specialized model. Electrical and Oculum. Off the top of my head, it's a certain type of magic, and they put it in an item. It's like a substance.
Okay.
Like, you know how a mantine is like on its own, it's hard as shit, but you can also juice it with magic. It's something like that. It's one of the one of the magic conducting substances that are pain in the ass on its own, but if you turn it into a magic weapon or armor, it becomes even more.
Okay, makes sense.
Or it's an alchemical substance. Off the top of my head. Can you look into that for us, Charmin? Or
yeah, I'll take a look.
So like, hey guys, this thing doesn't like electricity a lot. I can't do any of that stuff, but I can hit him with something else, I guess. And I'll look down at the creature, and I will cast Haunting Him at it. I'm just going to yell really loud and see if that kind of shakes him loose a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And let's see what happens.
The classic metal scream. Yeah. He pulls out a microphone.
So it's Fortitude save.
Okay, if you throw the spell at me, my VTT, sponsored by Fantasy Grounds. Thank you, Fantasy Grounds, for all the books you gave us. Will do the roll for me. It did his reflex roll.
Says the echo is a jarring him. Says that it's a range attack spell, but it doesn't say. I guess there it is. There. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I attack or it just happens. Auditory cantrip, sonic. The hymn deals sonic damage equal to your spell casting ability modifier with a basic Fortitude save. Do I still have to roll?
Right. So if you click on the dragon that calls up the description and scroll down, on the left there'll be a dice left of the word cast.
Yes.
If you click that, it should, because you already targeted him.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So it rolls the save for me, and it says, okay, I roll 3 plus 12, 15. Humanoid save 15 versus Pylo, and he fails. So now if you hit the teardrop, and automatic damage. Perfect. And what do you know? 4 points becomes full. There's no resistance to that. Sonic, magic, or auditory. Ooh. Effective, or at least for its minor damage, 100% of itself.
All right, guys. Electricity or yell really loud. It works really good. And that's my turn.
And 2 for the spell?
Yep.
Okay. Stoutbeard is stubborn. Even though he's below half hit points. He is there to soak damage, but he is worried. I was texting Eric today. His usual go-to is like save healing for emergencies. But I will say that he targets himself. Since I have the range, he will take a step back out of range and then do a double heal on himself to stay in the fight, to hopefully keep himself, what's the word I'm looking for, good to go for you guys. What do we got here? 8 plus 16. And he heals himself 26 points of damage and brings him all the way up to only 7 wounds so he can stay in the fight. Still looks beat up a bit, but now he looks way better and ready for round 6. The creature
got
gets
some,
shot at. Oh, yes?
Yeah, I've got some material on orichalcum.
Sure. Let's have it.
It is a most rare and valuable sky metal. It is coveted for its incredible time-related magical properties. This dull coppery metal isn't as physically sturdy as adamantine, but its time-bending properties protect it, granting a greater hardness and hit points. If it takes damage but isn't destroyed, it repairs itself completely 24 hours later.
So it's meteorite, because that's usually what adamantium is, but it's self-repair. Damn, that's pretty cool. So obviously if you made armor out of this or a weapon out of this, it would be very cool.
It would be a great shield.
But there would be drawbacks. Usually when you look into using some of these weird materials, there's always something that drains you, or, there's always a catch. But that's the kind of the coolest thing in this game. Just pick up Kmart toys and it works forever. Smack the dwarf backs off. Get some acid thrown on me, twirl, not much damage. Get hit by a bullet, twirl, not much damage. And the most damage coming in suddenly hits me from behind. This thing spins around and targets Pylo. And with a 10-foot reach, at least being able to get to your feet, A reaches out with a fist and tries to smack at you and misses and tries again and gets you on the backhand, doing 2d6 plus 9 bludgeoning, and does 18 points, moderately wounding Pylo.
Crap, man.
Uh-huh.
I can hear the bones rattling.
Yeah, I think I lost a toe.
And then for my very own last action, it will climb. It clambers up on the table to the side and begins to close on you guys after a athletics check from our sponsor.
I had a negative 5 on a second attack and still hit a 27.
Oh, yes. I am a machine that is not to be trifled with. Well, 1 guy versus 4, so they make them a little bit tougher than your average bear. Which brings us to Blaster Valentine. It makes its last roll, takes no damage again from the persistent spell, and yet fails, and will continue to kind of bleed, but not. Blaster, what do you want to do?
After hearing my companion Charwin there tell me about the weakness to, or resistance to physical damage, I remember I have elemental ammunition with lightning damage, so I have to reload, so I'm gonna, first action, I'm gonna move further away from him.
Okay. So
And reload while, use my running reload skill again, or feat.
out here?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not moving within his reach, so you should be fine because your first step or stride is out of it, so I don't think he takes a whack at you unless he's... I've never had anybody leave reach. It's always when they're coming in.
Oh, yeah.
It's within. No, I think you're okay. I'd rather err on the side of caution. So you back off 25 feet. Okay. Now you are far enough away that you see the cover bonuses on the bottom of your screen of...
Yeah.
Right? Normally, I'd say hit light, whatever, but because I clambered up on the table, you're good. You got a clean shot.
Okay.
But I want you to be aware of the set buttons because you're the one that's usually in and out of cover yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how you apply them to your own negative penalty shots. Okay, so let's talk about your ammo. Can you read it to us? This is new.
It is elemental ammunition lesser.
Okay.
It
Your
says
description?
it says it takes an action to interact to activate it.
Okay.
And when activated, the reservoir of alchemical ingredients and elemental ammunition atomizes on impact, dealing persistent acid, cold, electric, fire, or poison to the target, and splash damage in addition to the damage the attack normally deals. Each damage type requires a different formula, and the ammunition gains a trait matching the damage type.
Right. So what did you buy? Or did you just buy this going, oh, it's elemental and you didn't know?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it doesn't have in the item list.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. If it's any element, that will be fire, sonic, cold, electrical, and acid are your 5 basics. Right?
Yep.
Okay. That's a D6 minus 1. Right? Because usually with fire being the one, that's what it goes for. Unless you can give me a role-playing reason why there is one that you would not choose. Not going, I would just choose electricity, but give me a role-play reason why you would not pick sonic because it's so rare, or would not pick fire or whatever. I'll reduce that number and increase your chances and odds of having.
So yeah, I remember when I first got them. I have three of them, and each one was different. So I have like 1 fire, 1 lightning, and 1 poison.
Okay. So since poison, acid. Okay. Since you said lightning, I believe you. So you're gonna load that one.
Yes.
Okay. You've already loaded.
It actually says the ammunition deals 1 persistent damage and 1 splash damage.
Right. So here's the thing, though. You've loaded a regular bullet, which means as you move, you need to unload said bullet. Right.
Well, it doesn't say like I have to load it. It says I have to interact, like to activate.
That's the thing is
to activate it.
You need to pull the bullet, turn it on, and load it into your gun. And since you're only switching to this ammo now,
well, that was what I was trying to say. Is that's the bullet I was putting in when I was doing my running reload.
Okay, yeah, no, I got you, because like we kind of stopped you mid-round. Sure. Okay, so you throw in your electrical bullet. However, you do need to activate it. Like it literally says activate.
Yeah.
As its own interactive. So it's 1 to turn it on, and then the freebie is move and throw it in. So that's 2 actions. Now you can just shoot, but you're out of actions as soon as you do.
Yeah.
Okay, take a shot. Take your best shot.
Are you able to apply 1 electrical persistent damage?
Oh, yeah. Not automatically, but we'll, keep it up.
Rolling at 20.
Critical.
Just, I bring my arm up and...
Do I have a name? Do I have a name? Do I have a name? Humanoid construct. Do we have a name? Did we name Elite Clockwork Door? No, I do not have an actual name. Sorry, no crit card for you.
All right. Look at all those damage.
Yeah.
2 8s and a 1 for 12 17. Damage, like 17 damage.
But it resists. Okay, now, where is it? You don't have a way of putting in the electrical, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so what does it say for damage beyond the persistent? What's the other one?
That's all it says for damage.
It doesn't say anything like a D6 and then persistent?
No.
Okay, so for every point that you deal, because this thing has a weakness, it takes an additional 5. So it's not a point a round, it's 6 a round starting now. So your 12 actually goes back up to 18, which I will add. And until I make a flat check at the end of my turn, it will take 6.
And
it
1
has a weakness.
And 6 splash damage. Because it's 1 persistent and 1 splash.
Yeah, not to it. Splashes around it. That would be all my friends. Like, what you're saying, the bullet does splash damage. It does it to it, and then it splashes around the target to anything else that's vulnerable, because the ammo does splash damage.
I thought that counted at, like, the square that the target is in and around it.
No, because you hit it, and that does the damage, and then it splashes off and around. Hence, you do, like, remember Buddy and his acid going D6, and then everybody around him took 1 point?
Yeah, and
fire. That's.
I always thought for some reason the target gets hit by the persistent and the splash damage.
No, it gets hit by the initial, and then there's the splash, which means it splashes outward, like surrounding.
Yeah.
Now, if you shot above it, and it came down on it, it would miss out on the initial, but it would take splash. But anyway, usually splash is far less. So I owe you 6 points of damage. So I'm going to bring his wounds up. Ouch. And that hits him bad. He definitely, moves less, wobbles more. He's still fighting, but you're definitely taking him right down. And then when we come around to my turn, or you could just say, because my turn's before yours, the beginning of your turn, remind me to roll the flat check. Otherwise, he'll take the damage at the beginning anyway, but he might get out of it at the end, which is really cool. So, with you being out of actions, that brings us around to round 6, gentlemen. Charwin, you are up. Pilo, you're on deck. What do you want to do, boys?
All right. I'm going to try Caustic Blast again. And I will summon a green orb of acid right next to him and let it explode. Which he fails. All right.
Okay. So may I ask why you're going for the lesser splash as opposed to just hitting him with it?
Because the new spell, you don't actually hit him and then there's a splash. It's just a splash and everybody takes 1d6.
So you're targeting an area.
It's just an area burst.
I'm looking at the splash trait on Archives and Ethos.
Yeah.
And it's saying that all creatures within 5 feet of target, including the target in brackets, take the listed splash damage.
Oh, there you go. My apologies, sir. So,
but there's no doubling for critical hits or anything.
Yeah. Okay. Right then.
So he got 3 damage from me.
Yep, that's gone on.
Mm-hmm. And then I think what I'll do is I will move to the southeast and get right to the north of Andreas.
Just so we're rules lawyering, and I hate to say this, but do you see the difference of what was and what is Speigler? You used to hit something and do like D6, and everyone around him took 1 point. What happens now is you just wet an area, and everybody, including target, takes said damage.
Yeah.
Unless there's an initial damage listed, which in your bullets is not. Still, he's going to eat a lot. He's
or
gonna eat a lot.
I guess the persistent.
Yeah, but what Jackson? No, you're fine though. We're on point here. So sorry, Charwin. 2 for the spell.
Yep.
And then
2
you're
for the
going
spell.
to jump off and move. Okay. Can I have acrobatics or athletics? Just because you're not going to take any damage, but you could still eat the floor.
Athletics of 11.
Oh, you're fine. We'll hop down, which brings us to Pilo. What do you want to do, Pilo?
Well, I'm seeing this thing get pounded on by my friends here, and it's still standing, and I think I just got to help a little bit.
Okay.
So, gonna give it one last try, man. Just gonna yell at this thing one more time and cast Haunting Him at it and see what goes on, because I know that does work. At least it takes 4 damage.
Chip away, right?
That's right.
Perfectly good tactic.
Or half damage only. He succeeded this.
Only have to. I'm sorry. 2 points, but 2 damage. But
Nothing.
every little bit helps.
When he's this hurt,
Right.
You never know.
Yep.
And I have one more action left here, which I will use to. Now, where's Charwin?
That was the him.
Yeah.
To...
Just gonna look. I'm just gonna use exactly. I'm gonna message Charwin and say, "Hey, buddy, good shot." And hit him again. It was message.
Okay.
And that's what we got.
Andreas. Now, technically, I might penalize you if I knock him prone for a ranged shot. However, the benefit of what the rest of us get, if we were melee, would be worth it. But I got 3 guys shooting, and I'm the only guy swinging. So instead of charging this thing, like I think Eric might, and trying to knock it down, I think he will just come in. Oh, wait. No, we have it. Splash. It's not persistent. Yeah, so the electrical dissipates, and now I come in. Actually, no, I'll ask. Andreas asks you, are you going to do that again? Because he doesn't want to go in range. I don't want to take electrical No, you don't have any more bullets.
That's the only one I had.
Okay, so as an action, he calls out to you and confirms that I'm not going to step into danger. If not, then I will move as an action, and he will swing as an action, and that burns my other action quite nicely, actually. And I will flail. I believe he had his flail in his hand. Hits the construct with a 23. Does 1d6 plus 2. 7 points, only does 2, but again, go team. Chipping away. And now it's my turn. And I immediately fizzle and take 6 points of Speigler damage. 6 points of electrical damage. 6 points of electrical damage. And as this thing moves and the currents that are within my construct need to circulate to move, it seems to aggravate the electricity. And he wounds himself badly for 6 points. Which brings me up to this much. You smacked me for 2. You smacked me for 2. No, I think I'm going to move on the big guy. First, I'm going to move. I'm at table height. Trying to get off the table with a basic athletics as I move. I'm going to say it's difficult terrain because I'm leaving the difficult terrain. So that's 10 feet. How far can I move? 25 feet. 10, 15, 20, 25. Hello. I'm within 10 feet of my favorite 2 people. Wow, it's time to reach out and touch someone. You're each going to get a smack. Primary threat gets primary target hit. Fist. Not 20. Towards Valentine.
No.
Dude just runs over and does how they do the really fast extended, like straight out. It shoots out like an arrow. The sectional tentacle. Just right upside the head. And does 35 points to you. As an entire chunk of his head plate goes flying off. And we'll talk about, the baby Jedi that's inside later. And then, happy that he's damaged you so badly, turns its head and then swings that extended 10-foot arm in a whirling, outstretched backhand towards Pylo, because graphic combat is fun to describe. A -5, because, we want to be kind to the bard. But with a 17, still hits Pylo. It does 2d6, 9 points. 13 points. This thing is still in the game. It's vicious as ever. But I'm out of actions. And I roll for persistent 15, and I am no longer bleeding. Now, is it 15 for all checks, Drew? Or is it 15 for the current? I think it's 15 for the current. So that was whatever
15.
happened to you. And here's a 15 for Speigler. Nope. I will continue to take damage next round, Speig. But that's me. And now it's Blaster Valentine's Go. Out of electrical ammo. With a gun that's not loaded. Technically. Yep. What do you want to do? He throws it at him. No, what do you do?
I'm going to move into close melee range and reload.
Okay. All right.
My good old running reload right up into him.
You're lucky that I do not have attack of opportunity. I knew you'd get a smack for my reach, but no. Okay. He steps towards me. Loads his pistol, lowers it, and
I try to point to like a weak point in his armor or something like that, and let's see how we do.
Okay. Have you got a line for me before you pull the trigger? Before you do damage, have you got a killing line? You step right up, you've had enough, and the mechanism that fuels the bulb of his little laser targeting is completely exposed. So there's like this Christmas glow of red running along the side of Valentine's head as his bright light eye intensifies, and he says,
"Rot in the hell, you embezzled toaster."
I'm not covered under warranty. And he's really mad and he shoots him. And he shoots the damage. And he does no damage. Really? Rotten hell. And he goes bang, and it just goes ping into the ceiling. What do you do? You move for free, reloaded. You shot.
So I made
he distracts him.
I made a successful range strike, even though I did no damage, within my reach of my one-handed
Yes.
sword. So now he's flat-footed against my next melee attack.
All right. So this thing, its head snaps back from the impact, and we think he's done absolutely nothing, pulling up off guard. 1 second, please. Off guard, off guard. And causing him to be flat-footed, where then you whip around to the exposed neck, chest, torso, off balance, taking advantage.
like underneath the torso plate
Yeah.
with the long sword. Come on. Oh, no.
He's trying to slash with the sword, and as this thing's failing, it, like, without looking at you, the flailing arm comes down and catches and deflects the sword.
Oh, I forgot. I also have another feat that I did a reloading strike. So as I hit with my sword, I reloaded my pistol again.
Okay. Cool.
But that was my last action with the sword, so that would be for next round if it gets back to me.
All right. So using that actual action, whereas you can slap in a bullet, strike with the sword, that sort of deviant path of doing 2 for 1 is enough that it managed to get its defenses back, and you not only miss, but critically miss. And I will cost you an action next round, as you yourself are a little bit off-kiltered. Moving in for the killing blow and failing. Poor Valentine. If only Motherbot could see you now. Charwin, what do you do?
All right, let's move up onto the same platform he is. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Okay. Can I have a wee athletics? Charwin, we really need this, buddy. Like, he's dropping taglines and things he used to work in previous combats, and he's just having the terrible luck.
24 for athletics.
Your hop up there, yeah. The woulda, shoulda, coulda been so cool for the execution, and this thing pulls out which you see in superhero movies, right? They always line up that, and there's that last sort of, no, it's not going down just yet.
Charwin runs up there. He's about to hop, and then he just kind of old man shifts up, gets up on the platform, takes his time,
lays down and just props the ankle over and rolls up and can't get up. Okay.
And then I will do another little acid ball, throw it at him.
Okay. Natural
Critical
1.
failure. All
Trying
right.
trying to stay really low under its eye line. Charwin tries to use his disability to advantage and also get an upward angle, but no.
6 on the dice for 12.
This thing rolls a 1 on its save, and it's not a no, he can't get up. He's got this really good angle thanks to Valentine that no one realizes as he's milking his acting. This upshot from a low, almost prone position scores double damage, 6 points. Now, if it says double damage, 6 getting you 12.
Yep.
Okay. And you're throwing what exactly at it?
It's a acid caustic ball.
Okay.
And I'm standing there. What do I see, Jeff?
You see this thing.
Does it hit us?
Reel back. Hang on. You reel back. You get the shot, right? You tilt his head. You try to do your line, load your gun, hit the sword, critically fail, and then it's kind of in your eye line. You just suddenly see like a splash of acid come, not hit it from behind and splash on you, but sort of spray a little bit out. Oh, maybe you didn't miss. And a little bit of acid because it is a splash, yeah. Unfortunately, going to hit friend, yes. Okay, so reflex, please, Valentine. Acid suddenly splashes towards you.
29.
Okay, so for you, 6 in half is 3, you get a bit on you and it starts to burn, but the damage, acid traveled from behind through this thing and out a front vet. You get burned a little bit for 3. It's very annoying. It's very painful. But this thing melts from the inside and just becomes a husk that collapses like a sectional Christmas tree on itself and just falls over, completely destroyed from the inside out. And the combat ends and all goes silent for a moment. What do you guys do?
Mr. Valentine, my friend, you look a little banged up. Could you use a little bit of healing power on you right now?
Hold on a minute. I'm still collecting my thoughts after seeing this machine completely evaporate in front of me. Jarwin, that was a top-notch shot.
It was pretty damn good, I must say.
I think you opened up his armor for me as he was looking down on you and got him on the inside.
Yeah, at first I almost thought that the acid coming out was his own oils and stuff, and then I realized it was your spell.
Is that another word for amphetamine, a thing that this guy's weak to? I'm not good with words.
I think that's called an anthema.
No, what is it?
Enema?
No. I'm not quite sure what the
Weak
word
to
was.
enemas. You hit them from behind, straight up an up angle, you know.
I don't even care that some of it got on me. This leg plate is replaceable.
Well, I could pick up one there. You just put his on you. Can you do that?
Yeah, I think
they
that
can
comes
bring
with
anything and add
salvage.
to me.
Andreas, our craftsman, you know, the guy that makes his own arm and bots, runs over, takes a knee, and if there was ever a way to take a pulse on a robot, he just goes and confirms that it's dead. I don't mean he double taps it and kills it. He just goes over and makes sure that there's no juice in this thing, that there's no more surprises. So he takes a knee, does an engineering check, and makes sure that this thing is destroyed.
Andreas, do I see a tear running down your face?
He gets up. Does anyone speak Dwarven?
Mm-mm.
No?
Barely speak English.
No? No one all? Anyone? No?
Nope.
Charwin?
Just kind of.
Something, you know, and he holds up his hand and turns it and shows you how it's a little bit quirky, like it's not in perfect condition. And he points at the body like something's been wasted. You understand what he's saying, but, you know, something in Dwarven. And he just leaves it at that. Wasted all those parts. He destroyed it completely.
Yeah.
He seems happy. That was him trying to high five you and failed mechanically. I'm sure that's what that was. Yeah.
Okay, Bilo, I think you could come over here and check my bolts and my fittings.
Yeah, I mean, that guy took a pretty big hit on you there, so... Now let me take a look and see what you got going on here. I actually have a soothe spell I can use on you there. You gain 1d10 plus 4.
I know you guys did the healing solution for undead. Do we have a healing solution? Did we just do craft checks on the... No, right, because positive energy does work on you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, like they can just use spells or magic or...
Oh, okay.
I'm not doing like a physical check. I'm using magic on him because I'd probably do more damage trying to physically heal him.
Okay.
So like, here you go, buddy. We're going to take a piece from a robot and we'll put it onto you. We'll take another piece from a robot and we'll put it onto you. We'll take a piece from this robot and we'll put it onto you. And now you're all back together, my friend. So we're going to target you and we'll cast...
It's like...
Dude, that was awesome. I'm going to give you a hero point for that.
Yeah, that was so
outstanding
awesome.
Role. That was outstanding role play.
Oh, the part's
So
good.
imagining, like,
Sometimes.
all the household objects from like Beauty and the Beast that are walking as the spells and music's going.
All right, so I've targeted him there, and I will cast. Really hear this one.
Be our test. Andreas Stoutbeard.
Oh,
Andreas Stoutbeard will do the rest. You're a victim. You're this, like your test subject, right? Be your test. I'm sorry.
So big old 6 hit points back to you there.
Ooh. Good old Andreas can also help you.
Just gonna do treat wounds on Pilo since I have that ability.
The stitchy thing.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I knew you were my best friend after all.
He's a bone mender.
Yeah, stitch flesh.
So creepy. Cool, but how the hell did you Blaster Valentine receives 26 hit points from the guidance and blessings of Bry. He does sort of a Talmud reading in Dwarven, digs deep, and you something. I guess I should heal him from, please, Bry. It's and you feel positive energy and circuits mend, and and then he takes his hand out of your vent. There you go, and your enema's done too.
Does Bry speak to me?
No, but her dwarven priest mumbles to you in Dwarven. I will say this: there is an instant where the energy channeled from the goddess through her cleric touches you and you mend, that a circuit that had not broken, but sort of like in my computer, I bought a brand new computer, and a wire had just sort of shifted and started getting too close to a fan, and we're pressing on the vent and pushing down to keep the fan from going clickety clickety. I'm like, damn, it's a brand new thing. Didn't even realize that you could reach in and just sort of bend a wire and keep it bent away from where it had fallen. Because it was just ever so slightly brushing the fan module from the back, but we couldn't see it until we opened the sucker up to clean it, right? So it was nothing broken. Circuits are fine, but just shifted enough from a battle that when shifting back and connecting ever so slightly better, that thing you were fighting, that idea of the physical resistance, you have some sort of memory surge where you're on what can only be described as a battlefield, and a wall of golems, not metal, but made of stone and flesh, but moving slowly, are marching toward you. And you, to your left and right, are brothers, models, constructs that look practically exactly like you, with all manners of weaponry, stand in a line formation with high ground against this marching onslaught. You guys will be able to shoot the first volley, but when these things close that are 3 times your size, your line will be diminished. But for some reason, you are not afraid, and you know that you are in the right, that you stand your ground and will fall for whatever cause that you're fighting for. And then the dwarf yanks out his hand and it goes away, and only parts of that memory remain. Guys, perhaps we shouldn't touch everything, says Andreas. Like, he went over to the table and started dicking around. Even if it was his fault, starts digging around with his table. And we should explore the rest of this place quietly for course.
Hey, Charwin, I'm going to say, man, that you did a real good job fixing me up, but I'm pretty sure most of these bones were put in upside down, and I don't know if it did really much for me, but I appreciate the effort. Thank you.
Well, I was just giving you a little milk bath, setting you up for success next time.
Well, milk bath's more of if, like, something falls out and you want to put it back in, like a tooth. But, like, just my bones sitting there in milk's kind of weird. Might be comfortable, though, but kind of weird. I appreciate the help, though. Anytime you want, you can try again.
Yeah, I've got this ability called Continual Recovery. So I...
Go on. I've heard of this, but,
let's see. Was that the right one? Let's see. You can use... Oh, I got the wrong one up. Hold on. There we go. So your patient becomes immune for only 10 minutes instead of 1 hour. This applies only to your treat wounds activities, not any other the patient receives. So I can do this every 10 minutes.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I will try again as long as we got 20 minutes.
Yep, and you know what 20 minutes is good for, boys? Those that are not being treated. A cursory search of the area, or do we not want to work anything up? Because Andreas is certainly he did his heal, warns that he doesn't have a lot left, and is kind of guarding us. Maybe he's a little hesitant to open doors right now. How you doing there?
A little better there, Charwin. Thank you, buddy. That rib clicked in nice. Thank you.
What'd you get?
Got a 21 for the heal, and then 3 HP back to Pylo. You're still looking pretty bad, though.
I'll be okay for a few minutes here. Let's just search the room and see what's going on. See if we could find any evidence for, what we're looking for here.
Oh yes, back to the mission at hand.
But I can see your medulla oblongata is out of place, Pylo.
The hell is a medulla mama blabba? Where the hell is that? If you find one, let me know and I'll put it back in me. But I don't think I ever had one of them. Probably still back at the junkyard where they found me.
Oh, so
I don't actually know. It is just something I heard one of the street doctors say once.
You heard the medulla oblongata? Is that what you're going to fix next there, Charwin? You have this continual healing stuff. Was that going to come back for me?
Well, you just stay there, otherwise you're going to grow skin.
Don't threaten me with things like that. It's terrifying.
I'll try one more time. Go for 30 minutes.
Sure. $17 success.
Come on, big money. There we go, 11.
Okay, let's have a look here. Charwin only has 4 wounds and 44 current hit points. Pylo, 18 wounds, 28 hit points. Not great. Andreas, 7 hit points down. Blaster, 6 hit points down. I would say Pylo is your only major concern.
Pylo's okay for now.
Sure you don't want another one?
Well, we have time. I guess there's not much going on. We're not really on it.
Andreas reminds you guys that we've broken in here. We've been here for almost an hour, and whoever left might come back. We don't have all day of this.
Oh, yeah, I was outside keeping watch, and then I had to come in and help you guys, so there's no one watching.
Now, he will be the first to say, sit down, let's have full hit points. But, the GM also reminding you through a player tick-tock.
Can I make a perception check for, looking for, through, the books and stuff to see if I can find any clues to where the guy went? What's his name? Oloman
What books?
Kasawana.
You mean the workspace right here? Or you want to wander around looking for something more of a library? It's 3 doors and a corner of the workshop we have yet to explore.
Oh. Thank you, Drew. I was just going to check the book on the table, because I think before we were able to actually look at it, the automaton started attacking us.
Okay. Let's see here. Main workshop, yada yada. Beware.
There's two ramps going up to the loading dock, and then in between the ramps there's...
Would we assume he's doing this
4
while
tables.
Taking the 20 minutes of healing, or is this after that?
Oh, yes. No. Andreas smacked him with health right away, so Speigler has time to wander, so I'm getting him caught up to where you guys were standing around healing. Right. Now, that doesn't mean you have to sit there and be nice for 10 minutes. You just kind of I guess low activities, or you guys could kind of help. But we really don't want to wake this place up in the middle of a heal, right? So I'm assuming you guys are just behaving yourself. See.
I'm sure there's more surprises waiting for us through the other doors.
There is a device on the books. There is a copy of Bry's Holy Text, Logic of Design. It's a brass-colored and there's a brass-colored ribbon bookmarked, which is placed in it to mark certain pages.
Do I need to make like a perception check to look through?
Well, do you want to turn to the bookmark?
Yeah, I'm gonna check for any
Okay.
clues or hidden, like if anything falls out of the pages.
It's not falled out. The bookmark marks a page that has been torn out. So between Regulation 2.2.26 and 2.2.28, Regulation 2.2.27 seems to be omitted, and this is where the bookmark lies. So that when you go, what was he looking at? You find a page that's already been ripped out.
Is there anything of use on the page before or after the ripped out page?
You start scanning through that. Guys, can I have an intelligence check from the rest of you? Well, even Matt too. In the tower, if you please.
Not my strong suit.
Neither is mine.
Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Charwin. Do you remember when we were interviewing the priest back at the temple and found out about this guy? Her lackey had a book.
Oh, yeah. Kept reciting scriptures, right?
Yes. And the book was called The Logic of Design. And I think there was a chance we might have acquired a copy of said book. Did Pilo not scoop a copy of said book?
Or did Andreas pick one up when he
It
went
was
back?
Andreas. I didn't grab a book. I have the Undead Are Our Friends book.
Okay. So, you guys call Andreas over and ask if he's got a copy of this? Because, this one's incomplete.
Yeah.
Whether he took one from them at that time, I do know that he actually has one in his gear. And he opens it to Chapter 2, The Apprenticeship of Bronze, 2.2, Holy Places, and passage 2.27 is thus. To read it, or one of you guys want to read it?
At the eastern end of Tentacle Canyon in the Spellscar Desert, 180 miles from Cloud Reaver Keep, on a bearing of north 95 degrees east, is a sphere.
Milo, what happened to your voice?
I'm reading it as.
I meant in character, otherwise I could do that.
I was given just a little bit of break for you. Milo can't read.
So the guy he's still staring at it, making shit up. Why do I remember about the Eastern Tentacle Canyon? I don't.
When I was looking at the book, I was reading.
And the skeleton will come through the desert, and the cult will rise. Stop making shit up.
Shall I continue on, or do you want a character to continue on?
When I asked, I meant, did anyone want to read it out in character for flavor? But go ahead, finish what you started. Just keep close to the mic.
On a bearing of north 95 degrees east is a spherical geode of amethyst exactly 10 feet in diameter. Its shape is so perfect that it is doubtless deific in nature. Even time itself seems to bend around this flawless gem, this cradle of quartz. Like light reflecting off just a single facet of a cut gem in a box of blackest silk, Bry reveals an aspect of her perfect design in the depths of even the most torturous wastelands.
Right. So, geography, coordinates, a relic, because deific basically means holy, as in deity, time distortion magic, and an actual another location, Cradle Quartz, and what this thing does, and it's so shiny and pretty. What does it all mean? You're going to have to puzzle that out for yourselves. Next time.
$180 miles far.
So, if a quartz crystal and a tentacle canyon are both traveling 180 miles to Cleveland, and a cloud river bearing north 95 degrees, a spherical geode that's exactly 10 feet diameter, when our next episode's going to be, who knows? Hopefully next Monday.